Good morning, dreamers and non-believers, and do you like Pokemon? Of course you do. It's only the highest grossing media franchise of all time, doing more than Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and the MCU all combined. But that's besides the point. Then what is the point? The point is the new Pokemon trailer. I mean, have you seen this? This is the best thing since I mean, look at it. Okay, Nintendo's about to cook with this one. Hey, that's a pretty cool building. Oh my god, a Tron crossover. Hey, look, oh my god, it's Pikachu. Pyroar, Flabébé, a Sylveon fighting an Asian Slash. Is that the Eiffel Tower? Pokemon Legends. Z? Oh my, huh? Pokemon Za? Megas are coming back! If you're like me, then your reaction when you first saw the trailer is probably something like this. I mean, I was hyped. I mean, I could practically feel the blood swelling from below the belly, if you know what I mean. But then I saw that release date, 2025. I mean, that's so long from now. What was I going to do with myself? I was going through for a few days. And then I remembered some wise wisdom. In Pokemon, we trust. Tyron, what do you mean? What do you mean, what do I mean? What else? What else? What do you mean by in Pokemon we trust? Oh, young little me. Let me tell you a tale. By tale, I mean some slight compositions of words. That doesn't even make sense. And you'll learn exactly what I mean when I say, in Pokemon, we trust. First, for context, Pokemon is split into generations. So the first games, Red and Blue, were obviously Generation 1 games, but then their remakes, Fire Red and Leaf Green, were Generation 3 games because they came out after the Hoenn games, Ruby and Sapphire, but before the Sinnoh games, Diamond and Pearl. Does that make sense? Hopefully. Good. For the first 4 generations, the games were very similar. Of course, there were changes between each and every one, like held items in Gen 2 and double battles in Gen 3, but I feel like the people at Game Freak and the Pokemon Company as a whole were scared that their games were getting stale, and maybe fans were gonna get bored of them if they didn't do something. So whenever they were making the games for Generation 5, they decided to do something very drastic. Oh, shut up. Electro, Diglett, Nidoran, Mankey, Venus or Rattata, Fearow, Pidgey, Seeking... Sir, I'm so sorry to bother you, but I need your help real quick. I guess. Don't you see I'm busy here? Well, you see these new games, Pokemon Black and White. We need ways to make them more interesting so the fans don't get bored. What do we do? Have you ever just considered more? More what? More. More what? More. Sir, what does that mean? More. Sir, I don't think that's more. Sir, more. More. Okay, nice talk. Or at least that's how I imagine it went, because they ended up adding 156 more Pokemon. That's more than the first game's 151, and that's insane. For Christ's sake, you can't even catch any old Pokemon until getting the National Dex after the Elite Four. I think this was meant to be a soft reboot for the series. I think they were scared that the formula was getting old and they wanted to do something so players had something new. But I don't think they were satisfied with this. I don't think they were satisfied with this outcome because they wanted more. They didn't just want more Pokemon. They wanted a whole new feature. Because remember, kids, in Pokemon, we trust. On October 12th, 2013, Game Freak released a pair of games on the Nintendo 3DS. These games marked the start of Generation 6 for Pokemon with the Kalos region. And as it was the first Pokemon game in 3D, they had a lot of pressure put on them. Not just from the fans, but the company as a whole. These games, of course, being Pokemon X and Pokemon Y.
October 12th, 2013.
One of the biggest selling points about this game were Mega Evolution. See, Mega Evolution is described by Bulbapedia as a temporary in-battle transformation that results in an overall increase in stats, sometimes changing a Pokemon's ability and type. Couldn't have said it better myself, and believe me, I tried. You see, Pokemon took some bad Pokemon and made them really good. But more importantly, it took some good Pokemon and made them insanely broken. And I personally just love that. 28 different Pokemon got Mega Evolution. 2 of them, Mewtwo and Charizard, got 2 Megas, each of them being a game exclusive. So Charizard, if you were playing Pokemon X, would Mega Evolve into this. And if you're playing Pokemon Y, would Mega into this. There is a clear winner here, and if you choose Pokemon Y because you think Mega Charizard looks cool, you're lying to yourself. Stop. Bad. Don't worry, little baby, I love you. Also, Mega Evolutions were just generally so much fun to use. Do you know how much fun it would be to be in a battle? You know, start losing, and then you're like, nah, I'm standing on business. And Mega Evolve? Like, they don't know what's coming. Especially that battle with Lysander. Bruh, he Mega Evolve, you Mega Evolve. I mean, if you do what I did and Mega Evolve your Charizard, it doesn't end that well, but still, you feel like you're standing on business. I mean, that really wasn't a term back in the day, but still, you felt like it. You had that feeling you had that feeling even if you didn't have the words to understand what it meant. You know, in a few years, you'll know what you meant. You meant you were standing on business.
Introducing a new type of Pokemon, Fairy type. Sylveon is just one example of this 18th Pokemon type, which is super effective against Dragon-type Pokemon, adding a new twist to your battles.
Mega Evolution is honestly small fries to what else this game added. It added the Fairy type, the first new type added since Gold and Silver back in 2000. And honestly, it's an insane type, being strong against Fighting, Dark, and Dragon. Just being strong against Dragon alone is insane with how strong Dragon is, and it's only weak to Poison and Steel. And to be fair, everything's weak to Steel, because it's just a good type, but still, Fairy is insane. Not only that, it gave Fairy typing to old Pokemon, notable ones being Mawile and the Gardevoir line. Not only that, it added something guaranteed to make fans happy. A new evolution, Sylveon, a Fairy type. The hype was insane, insurmountable, some would even say. Just watching that trailer and seeing it for the first time, the Fairy type. Oh my lord, I couldn't describe it now if I tried. And believe me, I'm trying.
One day later.
No talking until I can get this finished by tonight. Oh, why is Red Bull so tasty? These games, needless to say, were massive hits. Not only were they just a bunch of fun, but they also added so much to Pokemon in and of itself. They added Mega Evolutions. They added the Fairy type. They were, again, the first 3D Pokemon game. Then they also created some of the most beloved Pokemon people still use and talk about to this day, 8 years later. And to me, that's just crazy. I remember watching Pokemon content day in and day out about these games leading up to and after their release. It was so much fun. And then also, every day coming home from school and just watching more Pokemon content. I just remember having so much fun with this. In their opening weekend, they sold 4 million copies. After a year, they had sold 12 million of Pokemon X and Y, which is just insane to think about. 12 million copies. That's more millions than I have hoes hitting my line. Oh, talking about that, let me check my phone real quick. Where did I set that bugger? Oh, just Duolingo. Oh, hey, listen, man, you know, I was just joking. Oh. I'll move. Oh God, the camera.
Oh, he got you.
Oh, shut up, I don't care. These games were far from perfect, though. You see, X and Y is very easy, even by Pokemon standards. Maybe they felt like since it was the first generation in 3D, the first game in the 3DS, that they were going to have a bunch of new fans. They didn't want to go too hard on them, but they might have overdid a little bit. The gym leaders, pushovers. Elite Four, pushovers. The champion, pushovers. The evil team, pushovers. Even Lysander wasn't that difficult. And that's a little heartbreaking. I'm not gonna lie. Especially since after you beat the third gym, you have a Mega Lucario. They literally just give it to you. The third gym leader gives you a Mega Lucario. Y'all do a cool 1v1, but other than that, you just have a Mega at that point. And then you don't see any other Megas for the rest of the game besides the Mega Gyarados Lysander has and the Champion's Mega Gardevoir. And I feel like it's such a missed opportunity to have something you added in this generation be featured so little, even though it's so cool. Resident Pokemon Master and the hottest PokeTuber I know, that Cotton L from a shiny Kabuto, did an excellent video where he kind of fixes the game, honestly. He fixes the game. He makes the game a lot harder. He gives Pokemon to all the gym leaders to make fill out their teams and give some of the Megas, because they need Megas. The final gym has an Abomasnow. In the anime, it Mega Evolves. In the game, it doesn't. I don't know why. With Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire releasing the following year, it took everyone away from X and Y. Not only that, it actually took them away earlier than that because, trailers and stuff. People were now theorizing of, oh, who was going to get a Mega in this new game? And then they found out the starters are getting Megas, and everyone was hype. Me too. Everyone kind of guessed it, considering Mega Blaziken got a Mega in X and Y, but we don't talk about that. And don't even get me started on the rivals in X and Y. They were horrible. You have 4 of them. Actually, Bulbapedia only says you have 3. Actually, no, I feel like you should count the 4th dude. Trevor, yeah, he doesn't want to be a Pokemon Master, but you still battle him. And to be fair, Tierno doesn't want to be a Pokemon Master either. He just want to open his own dance studio. So is he really a rival either? I'm going to be honest, no. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't really get to know any of them too seriously. Tierno, Trevor, barely at all. Serena? Why did I say it like that? Either way, you don't get to know any of them significantly. These games practically had no post game to speak of, none that was interesting at least. The Megas were hardly used at all, and the ones that were used were total pushovers. I mean, honestly, even the rivals themselves were pushovers. There was no challenge to this game. So whenever this game did come out, everyone swept right through them, maybe made a few videos talking about the game, and then, oh my god, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, Hoenn are getting remakes, let's talk about that, and that's practically what happened. And honestly, it almost was deserved. X and Y got ran through so quickly it could get a job at Hooters, which is insane to think about because these games are a cornerstone in Pokemon history, and yet they got ran over like some... In Pokemon we trust. In Pokemon we trust. In Pokemon we trust. In Pokemon we trust.
Pokemon X and Y were released on October 12th, 2013. Nearly 11 years ago. Whenever I played these games for the first time, they were my first Pokemon games ever. And I was 9 years old. I was awful at those games. So what? I would use a legendary on my team. So what? I would use full heals during gym battles and Elite Four, even during the champion. So what? I didn't care about type overlap, which ended up with a Talonflame and a Charizard on the same team. It was fun. I was having fun. So whenever I was sitting in my chair, watching that trailer for the first time, I was so hyped. Seeing Lumio City for the first time in what must have been years made my heart race like lightning and pound with the force of thunder. And then seeing that Mega Evolution symbol came with a flood of memories of playing Pokemon while watching YouTubers play it too. Of playing Pokemon when I should have been asleep, getting ready for school the next day. Of the friends who introduced me to Pokemon. I was 9 years old and I turned 20 this year. It has been nearly 11 years. And in those 11 years, I have moved cities, found new friends, found love, lost it, and found it again. In those 11 years, my life has changed in a way I couldn't imagine. I would like to say that 9-year-old me would look at me now and be proud, be happy how I turned out. And like my hair too, of course. I would love to say that. So when I say in Pokemon we trust, it's not just because they make excellent games. It's because those games mean a lot to a lot of people. And I need this new Pokemon game to be good. A part of me, the part of me that still lives in that old city, that part of me who misses those friends I no longer have. That part of me who wants to be a kid again needs these games to be good. It needs these games to succeed. So when I say in Pokemon we trust, it's a plea to Game Freak and Pokemon as a whole. Please do these games the respect they deserve. Because in the past 11 years we spent outside of the Kalos region, I'd spent most of them thinking about it, remembering those days I would spend with my friends.